Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about Survivor 20 Heroes versus Villains, episode 4.
Episode 4. We start with Coach.
With tears, crying, emotion.
He's sensitive, David. He's sensitive and he's hurt by Sandra's words at Tribal.
I mean, he has such a tough exterior. I didn't know that he was such a gentle soul. You know, like all it takes is one comment about how he hasn't been helping around camp and he is spiraling. You know, he is. I'm working harder than anybody out here, man. And like, that's just wrong to say that about me. And like, I don't think I'm built for this game. Like, he's ready to quit. Yeah.
He is one of the last noble men. And how dare you not see that and make any complaint about him whatsoever.
Yeah.
He can't handle it.
Tyson's, trying to talk him off of a ledge. He's like, listen, I got some advice for you. Number 1, don't wear feathers in your hair. Number 2, keep Tai Chi to yourself. He's just like listing all these things that make Coach.
Do not tell your stories. Like literally Tyson was like, can you just not be yourself and maybe you'll go further in life.
Right. And they're embracing. I mean, it is Tyson. Sweet to see like them hugging and like, you don't often see, these like hard exterior men like having emotional connections like this on TV. So it is kind of like a sweet moment, I think. But
no, I don't buy this at all. There's nothing sweet from Tyson's end. Tyson is just doing the polite thing. He's just listening, but all of his advice is don't be yourself. And he's just hugging him like, oh, okay, fine. I have to hug this man. Like that's what I saw in this. Yeah. Coach is literally like talking about leaving, which is a bit extreme, Coach. Like, okay.
Yeah, right.
Take a breather. And he does. Overnight, word spreads. Tyson tells everyone. So the next day, Rob is like, oh my gosh.
Well, and Coach is not over it. Like, it's not like he sleeps on it and then he's like, oh man, I snapped out of it. Like, okay, I'm back. I'm back in the game. Yeah. Like, he's still kind of feeling butthurt about Tribal. And Rob comes up in the forest and he's like, you got to get a grip. You need to trust me implicitly, of course, like always trust me in what I'm telling you and be a man. Like, come on, stop doing this. He gives him a hug and then he's like, all right, that's all you're getting from me. You better get it together now.
Again, Tyson is like half supportive and Rob is like barely supportive.
Barely.
But yet being supportive, but like, dude, no. Be a man. What kind of advice is be a man?
I know. I mean, specifically, Tyson was like, we need Coach because Coach is strong and we got to keep this tribe strong. So I think they're like indulging him a little bit and, giving him pats on the back and stuff, like feel better. But then ultimately they're like, shut up. Like we need you on the tribe because you're strong. So stop talking about quitting and stop being a baby and like get your head in Survivor,
Yeah, basically get your head in the game. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, we pop over to Heroes just for a little shopping, a little Sears catalog.
Oh my goodness. Like our Sears catalog arrived. Like, let's pick what we want to play for reward. They get to pick like couches and grills and, tool kits and fishing sets and all kinds of recreational at-home goods.
Which is so funny to see because we just don't see that anymore. But it is nice when you get to choose your own reward. Because as we see, the heroes built a different list than the villains because they have different needs.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, this reward challenge.
Let's just oil up our bodies and slide stomach for, again, the physicality of these challenges. They like throw themselves on the slip and slide and have to, yank the ball off this cord and land it in the hoop. And it's like, 1-on-1, so Parvati does have to sit out because you can't sit the same people out back to back.
Sandra, you can't sit out again. Do it again. This was when you couldn't sit out back to back to back to back to back. Again, it's a 1-on-1, but at least it's not like physically attacking each other 1-on-1.
Yes,
so they pair up, slide down, all greasy, and then basically it's just basketball. Just got to shoot a ball into a basket.
And it's pretty close. Like, It does, it's first to 4 wins, and it does end with like a 3-3 tie. And so the deciding round comes with Tyson versus Colby, right? And that kind of is like a toss up. Like both of these guys are super good at challenges like these. But Tyson does eke out the win for the villains.
Yes. So villains back to winning stuff.
Yeah, just how they like it.
Yes. But now in their reward, something happens. It's a little new. These people, they may be all-stars. They may be back playing again.
But this felt like amateur hour. This felt like, what are we doing here, people? Because at this point, we are so used to people knowing to look through awards for clues.
Yes.
If you get a plate of spaghetti, you're moving the noodles around and looking for a clue on the plate or lifting the tablecloth. Like, players know now that there are sometimes clues in rewards.
Yes. And if you just happen to like feel or see something a little different, a little out of the ordinary, you are going to protect that. You are going to be sly about it. You are going to excuse yourself.
Right.
And that's what happens. Russell's like, what's this thing?
And it just drops out of the like sheath for the, serrated knife. And they're all just kind of looking at this piece of paper that dropped. And who picks it up? But Rob, of course. Rob picks it up.
And he publicly reads it because he's not even thinking that it's a clue.
Yeah.
So he just reads out loud, well, there's a hidden immunity idol over by this corner in a tree and a something and a something.
Well, that's irrelevant now because everybody knows about it. And Rob says, if you look for that idol, you're a marked man. We're not doing
Sandra says it. Sandra says like, oh yeah, you're marked. That's it. And Rob's like, yeah, we're not looking for this.
Right.
So the two of them together, they're not going to let that happen.
They let everybody know, like, if you even so much as like wander off by yourself, we're going to know. And you're going home. Like, it's very like ominous and threatening. Like, do not look for this or else. But Russell is the king of Survivor. Russell doesn't listen to these things.
He doesn't the daddy of the tribe Right. I mean, I legitimately was shocked that everyone is like, okay, yeah. And then they go about building shelter and like doing their own thing. It's not until Russell can legitimately sneak off that Russell's like, I got to go find this. And no one else is looking.
No one else is looking. But they see, I mean, Russell does say like, I'm going for a walk. So everybody immediately knows.
Come on, Russell.
Right.
Be better than that.
Right. At least they like, oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom or so, he's saying you're going for a walk alone. Not a good look.
Or
so he wanders off. Rob, of course, is like, well, I need to know what's going on here. Sandra, go see what Russell's doing. Sandra sneaks off onto the beach and she sees him and she's like, he's done. He's a dead man. And she goes back and tells everyone and they're all like, Russell's got to go. Like, we all agreed that we weren't going to look for the immunity idol. So,
right. Even if he didn't find it, he was looking. So dead to us. That's their agreement at that time. Let's hop over to Heroes because similar thing is happening over there. Now they got their coffee a while ago.
Yes.
Board.
Yeah.
But again, they are just not used to looking for these clues. And so as a group, they find it in the middle of their coffee.
Also, I gotta say, like, the coffee situation was an odd group activity. They're all standing around while Tom is holding the jar of coffee and JT is removing like 6 beans at a time. Who gets coffee that way? It's a one-person job. So like, what's going on there?
I think in Survivor, they do these things together because they're rationing. So when, because we do see like who's on rice duty, like where's your scoop? I feel like first off, there's not a lot to do at camp, so they do things together. But I think they also ration together.
Okay, so everybody's aware of how many beans or whatever they're using for the coffee.
Yeah, well, and also apparently it wasn't strong enough for Sari, and she wanted more beans.
Yeah, right. So JT is picking out those 2 extra beans for Sari's sake. And then he's like, what's this? Pulls out a clue. Everybody now knows there's a clue in the coffee. So they do the same thing, unfurl it. It's the clue to the hidden immunity idol. But this tribe handles it differently. Everybody now immediately starts looking.
They're a bit casual about it. Like that no one like jumps up and runs off. But
Right.
they do act like, oh, whoops, we read this as a group. I think one person was supposed to find this. So now we all know as they like slowly back off and start to go look for it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you like take a couple of like casual steps away and then you like start going crazy once you have like a little space from everybody else. And it is Tom who finds this like strange tree that they're looking for first. And he's kind of digging around in there, but then Amanda finds it. And then James finds it. And they're all kind of recognizing like, this has got to be the tree. It's got to be here somewhere. And Tom is rooting around at the base of that tree, finds it. And I think they didn't see him find it, but I think Amanda saw him trying to hide it, like saw him stuff it into his sock.
Yeah. Yeah. And your behavior does change after you find it. You're like, I'm still looking, but I'm not really looking. And I'm messing with my pants more.
Stuff.
Yeah. And so Amanda smartly is like, oh, Tom, yeah, he's got it. So good for Tom, but unfortunately, it's not a secret.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Let's go play immunity.
Let's do this. So now this one is fun. We do have to sit 3 people out for this because of how the challenge is built. So good old Courtney and Sandra sitting out again, and then Saria sitting out for the heroes. But this is where I really liked this challenge. I haven't really seen one. We always see a blindfolded challenge, but I liked how there's like one person guiding, and that person guiding is not like at the back of the field shouting directions to you. They're like in a ball that's rotating over and over, so they can't always, see the right way and stuff. I'm sure that was
getting disoriented. That's great.
Yeah.
So they're rolling in these big balls, and we've got Rob on one side and we got Tom on the other.
Yeah.
And from the get-go, though, Rob has good control over his tribe, which is just a given.
Yeah.
They already listen to everything he says.
Yeah.
So he's directing them well.
Mm-hmm.
Tom's group is falling back.
Right.
And we get to a puzzle.
Yeah.
What do we call
this? Blindfolded here.
Puzzle. Yes, they're still blindfolded.
Jeff called it a table puzzle.
Table
what Jeff
puzzle.
referred to it as. Yeah.
So you have to tell someone to like go up or down and jerk it easy. That's really hard to do blindfolded.
Yeah, for sure. But they're both doing an okay job. It's just that Rob has a lead already, and Rob is like still sort of that much more effective than Tom in giving the directions. The editors tried to make it seem close. They gave us a couple of like really tight close-up shots on the heroes table with that ball almost going in the hole. Yeah. But it's like, that was probably a tight close-up shot that they filmed with their production crew. It wasn't like something that the heroes actually did, So it probably wasn't as close as we thought, but the villains do end up winning immunity. Again, villains are back on their streak.
Back to winning. We got some winners over there on that villain tribe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, back at camp, Tom knows that everybody knows that he has the idol, So he's got to figure out a way. Can I can't necessarily use this idol in like a big flashy move at tribal because everybody knows I have it, but can I use it as currency, as a way to work my way into an alliance?
Yes. Now we see Candace and Sari talking about, so we've got an idol to worry about, but we don't care. We're splitting up Tom and Colby. One of them plays idol. Who cares? We split our votes 3-3. One of them is going to go home.
Right. Because Tom and Colby are just their 2 votes. So even if we vote 3-3 and 3 of those get nullified, we've still got a strong 3 that will beat their 2. Like, it's a very smart strategy. The only thing is you have to make sure all 6 of those people are on board, right?
Right. And JT is not so sure about that because he doesn't want to work with Candace. Candace is the one that scares him. Tom and Colby, he's not worried about Tom and Colby.
He's not worried about, everyone's worried about Tom and Colby because they're big physical threats, right? And like likable guys. But JT's not worried about that. He sees them as like straight shooters, honest, reliable. He and Tom have been like kind of loosely wanting to work together since the very beginning because they're both previous winners. So he looks at Candace and he's like, this girl is strategizing all the time, like crazy. She's running around a little too much. He doesn't trust her.
Yes. So when Tom is talking to Amanda, JT, and he's offering up the idol like it could be used as a group, he is using it however he can to sort of get in. And
he says, I'll give it away. I'll give it to one of you.
Yeah, and JT is totally in on this and trying to convince Amanda. And she's, she's not 100%, but she's getting into it. And she's like, okay, all right. Until it gets back to Suri.
Suri looks at Amanda dead in the face and basically calls her stupid. Like, it is
so dumb. Are you even thinking? How dumb is that? Amanda's like, ooh.
Yeah, like because Amanda, I think, kind of was like, oh, Suri's gonna love this. She goes up and she's like, guess what happened? Like, Tom's gonna give us the idol. And Suri was like, are you kidding me? Tom and Colby, the two men who were working overtime to get you out of this game, and now they offer you an idol by committee, and now all of a sudden you want to work with them? Are you like, she cannot believe this.
She's like, do you have the idol in your hand? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, Suri is making very valid points. 100%. She might be a little too direct for some people, but like everything she's saying is the truth. The rest of their little group comes over, and I'm glad we get to see it because, these are the people that have worked together before. Are they working together now? Of course they're working together now. They are standing there talking about like, how is our group going to vote? And Suri is loudly explaining things to the point that JT, not too far away, is able to hear all of this.
This is her downfall. This is not good that JT is hearing this conversation from afar. People are saying Suri's hot, right? Like, she's saying like Tom and Colby are the threats. Like, how can we need to not lose focus on this? And James is like, well, we haven't decided 100% yet. Like, relax. Like, we're having a conversation. We're figuring it out, Suri. But JT sees how well she has these people wrapped around her finger, like they are kind of like bowing down to her in a way of like, oh no, Suri, relax. Like, we can still do your plan, like she's clearly the one in charge of this group.
Clearly. And we're seeing that the way that Amanda behaved, because like you said, Amanda was like, hey, look at this. And Suri's like, no. She's like, oh, okay. And same thing with James. Like, James is a big, scary guy that will talk back to you. But when Suri's like, no, that's a horrible plan, he's like, no, we wanted to talk to you about it. He was bowing down to her. She clearly is running this group.
Yeah, she's basically like the Rob of this tribe, she's that effective.
That's valuable information for JT to see. So he takes that back to Tom on one hand to be like, look, Suri's running this, not me. I'm out of, there's not much I can do for you. So definitely play your idol.
Yes.
And be aware that this is how the vote is going down. Of course, Tom's like, well, if you're saying Suri, is that the way we should vote?
Right. Maybe we get the puppet master out, if she's in charge of this tribe and we're looking for a way in, maybe we just need to get her out of the way. And then we can like carve out a better position for ourselves moving forward. So JT, how about this? Like, if you flip and vote with us, I'll play my idol and we'll nullify 3 of those votes. And then the 3 of us could potentially get Suri out. What do you think? What do you think? And we've seen JT in this position before already this game, where he is the swing vote. He gets to decide like, which side am I going to vote with? And that essentially gives him the power to determine who's going home. So he's like really positioning himself well on this tribe so far. And he's saying like, do I vote with my head and stay with the group, get Colby out of here? That's the smart move strategically, like stay good with this group. Or do I vote with my heart and keep the good guys in the game? Colby and Tom are my dudes. And like, he's got a decision to make essentially.
He does. And so going into tribal, we're not sure which way he's going to go, how this vote's going to go down. We hear that James doesn't believe in the social game. This was my favorite part of this tribal, because I was like, well, at least you admit it, James.
Yeah. He's like, social game is a distraction. I just want to win. And I'm like, this is why you've never won Survivor. I get it now.
You don't even understand what Survivor game is. That's
okay. Yeah. Right. But he's frustrated because the beginning part of the conversation at tribal is essentially like, our alliance is already really strong, so strong that Rupert is saying, I will keep my word to my alliance over making what I think is strategically a better move. And Jeff is like, what? No wonder you heroes are always at tribal.
Right. He was like, don't you guys want to win? And they were like, we do want to win challenges and not be here. But we have made promises to certain people.
Right.
And there again,
like, have you forgotten about the outwit part of this game? Like,
that's all the evidence you need to know is that those people who worked together previously are talking about how they have to work together. And those are the promises being made. And so that is good information if you are not in that group.
That's right. Yeah. And, we get a little bit of Cirie saying that she's worried. She's always worried. And Tom's like, I don't believe that Cirie is worried tonight, but Colby definitely is worried. Like there's a little bit of people who should be worried and are worried. And then there are people who should be worried, are saying they're worried, but maybe aren't worried,
Right. And I was like, Cirie, you're not worried. You're not worried, girl. You just have to say it.
Right. Of course, you always have to say it. We do get to the vote and we see 2 votes. We see Candace vote for Tom and we see Tom vote for Cirie, both of which are not surprises, but that's kind of setting up like it's one of these 2 people, which is what we suspected going into tribal.
I love that they showed JT just drawing a C. And I was like, oh, how clever, because it's either Colby or Cirie. Not calling us anything.
Yeah.
But they were like, we'll give you a C. So we first get, this is fascinating because Jeff doesn't even do what we're used to. He doesn't say, now would be the time if you have something to play. There's none of that. He's just like, all right, I got the votes.
And Tom's like, whoa, Jeff, hold on.
Jump in.
Yeah, so he plays. New. I know. He plays the idol for himself. And then, the first 3 votes are for Tom. And so those are all null and void. So then it's, who's it going to be? Colby or Cirie? This is where did JT's vote fall,
Right. And we are tied up 2-2. Colby gets 2 votes. And then we have Cirie with 2 votes for that last one. And it is Cirie.
Cirie, they got her. I mean, this was an unusually early exit for Cirie. I think she's played Survivor 4 times and she makes it far. This was, I think, her earliest exit ever that she.
One of the best Survivor players ever. This, as much as we love her, you have to take her out early. Like
Absolutely.
This is a smart decision for some people, obviously not for everybody. But we just going through season 40, we just were talking about that the winner said someone who never won that they think should have won.
Yeah, right.
And we talked about how Cirie's name came up multiple times.
Yeah, she's a legend for sure. And it wasn't like Cirie's laying low, but we know what a threat she is. And so we need to get her out early. She was already kind of running the tribe. Like, she's not a huge physical threat. She wasn't someone who was going to get to the merge and then start, winning individual immunity back to back to back. She's not that kind of threat, but she already was showing the mastery that she has over the social aspect of this game and the influence that she has over people.
Yes. So JT, I think, made a smart decision for himself. Where he goes from here, is
right
up. We'll have to see.
We will have to see, indeed. I mean, now, I think he's like firmly with Colby and Tom. Like the rest of the tribe is gonna realize what happened. So he's with them. But interestingly, in the preview for next week, now Candace wants to work with Colby and Tom. So maybe they're a little foursome who are going to do some damage on the Heroes tribe.
Right. I mean, when you have a sort of like a new group forming, it is enticing to be like, oh, maybe I should jump ship over there.
Right.
Of course, it might be upsetting some people.
Yeah. And JT is the one who wanted to get Candace out in the first place. So, it's interesting that she now is so attracted to this threesome as like, a new alliance.
Right. There we go. Fourth episode.
I know. Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes the next episode. And I also am curious, like, when is this Russell thing gonna play out? Because they're planting seeds with, you know, Russell looking for this idol. I think he's continuing to look for it in the next episode. So something's gonna happen there. Yet. Right.
And I mean, I know winning, he's not really in danger.
True. I mean, yeah, this is not a good showing for the heroes to start this game. So I'm curious too, like, are we going to get a tribe swap coming up to mix things up, or do we stay heroes, villains until the merge? I don't know the answers to these questions, Sarah. I know you do because you've seen the season.
I don't know what to say sometimes. I'm like, we're just talking about episode 4. So at this point, this is the way things look. It's quite fun.
Yeah.
What is going to happen with Russell?
I mean, I do know Russell's long-term arc, but I don't know the specifics in between beginning and end. So yeah.
It's good times. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for keeping up with us on this heroes versus villains journey. It's going to take us, you know, past Survivor Winners at War.
I know. Oh my God. We have the finale on Wednesday. Or
By the time this goes up, David.
It will have already aired. So we know who the winner of Survivor Winners at War was.
We don't.
Congratulations to Mama for winning.
Yep. At this point in time, we're done with Winners at War. So this is gonna we gotta hold on to this.
Yes.
Here's the villains.
Yeah.
Get us through.
Stick with us on this journey.
Yes. All right. We will see you next week, guys.
Okay. Bye.